You're watching Alive and Well. I'm here with Mr. Leamon Jones. He is the Director of Consumer Services for the Michigan Commission for the Blind, actually an organization that has been very instrumental in the growth of DS Enterprises, or DSE-TV. Very, very grateful to them. I am one of their clients, and I wanted to take the opportunity to be able to interview him, and he was gracious enough to let me do so. Hi, Leamon, how you doing?
Great. How you doing today?
Doing good. I wanted to start with you, if you would, by telling me a real interesting story. How did you lose your vision? Tell me about your childhood and the loss of your sight and kind of where it took you.
Well, quite interesting story. I lost my vision kind of like in adolescent years as a result of juvenile cataracts and head surgery, and things began to kind of look up, but then for some reason other things started going down again. So I gradually lost my vision through teenage years. At that point, I had to make some adjustments and what I was doing in particular, because those are the years where you reach out for all those kinds of things, sports and driving, and all of those things. You seek to do those kinds of things. Of course, being that I am from Tennessee, and so that was we lived in kind of just outside of the city of Memphis, and so there were some challenges in that sense, that because of being close to the farm area, in the farm area, all those tasks, because we had to learn how to do those things with the diminishing or decreasing vision. So that was some challenges there, and then to complete my schooling too. So
did you learn Braille? How did that work? And did you have any help?
Well, as I was saying, that there were some adjustments that had to be made. And so eventually then I went to the School for the Blind in Tennessee. Okay. And that's where I first learned Braille. And, of course, that was my first introduction to Braille. So, and began to learn those kinds of things. And when I saw Braille at first, I said, wow, these dots, nobody reads this stuff. All these little dots, But because of a real demand or need in order to be able to complete your education, then that was what had to happen. So yes, learned that.
How did your family react when you started losing your sight? Were they surprised? Were they shocked? Did they know how to deal with it? Or
I think that what probably really happened, being that I grew up in a family where there was four of us. I had a brother and two sisters, and my parents. I'm sure that they had some adjustments to do, because your parents always look for and want the best for all the kids, and that was an experience that they had never had before. So there were some adjustments, and how do we kind of get through this? It was a family effort. All of my family, my extended family, my uncles and aunts, and those. They too were behind the effort of, we got to make sure that he gets what he needs. And gets, and
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and really the key was that they thought it would be good if I could stay at home, but there weren't anything, basically in my area for serving persons with the amount of vision I had lost at that time.
So how old were you when you actually went away to school?
I was 14.
Did you meet a lot of friends? Was it strange to you? How long did it take you to adapt?
Well, the thought of going away, and of course that was a residential school, right? So that was in Nashville, Tennessee. So that's a distance from Memphis, like 200 miles away. So going away, and that's the first time you're really going away for that period of time from home. So that was some adjustment, but there were a number of other young people there, so that it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be at first. You think about, wow, what is this like? What's going to happen here? How am I going to be able to do, But you get there, and you find that these other kids are doing the same kinds of things, and they're going along. And then when I first got there, too, I did still have some functioning vision, so that wasn't as difficult, to get around those kinds of things.
How old were you when you lost your vision completely?
Probably in my in usable vision, probably in my early 20s. Yeah.
So basically, when you went to school, then you didn't have to learn how to do everything afresh. It was.
Basically, I didn't have enough vision to read really effectively large print or anything like that. I mean, they really right out from the beginning started on teaching me Braille. So hey, that was fine with me too.
Did you start using a cane right from the beginning, or was that later?
No, that was later, much later. Because I know in the early days of going to the School for Blind there, they didn't have orientation and mobility at that time. So we just kind of
found your way around.
Found a way around, yes.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of stuff did you guys do for recreation or for hobbies? Did they play any kind of sports?
We played basketball, we played football, wrestle, those kinds of things, and even some softball, but more or less more of
closer sports,
right?
Kind of contact sports.
Contact sports, right? Yeah.
You played basketball though?
That was my thing, we used to really get some good basketball games going,
Really?
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about leaving school and going to college. What did you choose to go into, and how did you end up where you're at?
That's quite interesting too. And I went to college, and I was kind of deciding on what field that I want to go, field of study that I wanted to take. And at that time, I wasn't, like all the other students, young people, they look at these things and they think, well, hey, this ought to be great. And so I probably was, a friend of mine had gone to school a year ahead of me, and so he was in sociology, and I said, oh wow, that sounds like that I would be interested. Looking at that, what is this? Working with groups and populations and things like that, and I thought, that ought to be interesting. So then I decided I would get a major in sociology and history. And as I continued in school, I found out, what am I going to do with this? What kind of thing could I do with sociology and history? Probably history you might have been able to be a teacher, but I wasn't interested in being a teacher at that time, at that juncture. Sociology I think is a degree that kind of prepares you for advanced degrees. And so I began to take a look at a number of different advanced degrees. In particular, law was one I thought about that might be interesting, coming up and during that civil rights era and all of that. I thought that might have been a good area. But I looked at that and I said, wow, 3 more years of college, after 3 years, and then 3 more years, and I don't know if I want to be able to do that. And so as you continue to explore, and so my advisor at that time said, well, if you're not really sure you want to go to law school, let's look at rehabilitation counseling. So we looked at that, and that's kind of where I ended up at. So I went to grad school there and University of Tennessee, and got my master's in rehabilitation counseling and special ed, learning disability. Yeah.
When we get back from the break, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your career now. Also, you're married, and if you have kids. And I also want to talk a little bit about the evolution of technology. What it was like in the early days when you started to lose your vision, as opposed to now when there are so many advancements in computer technology and such. So,
certainly.
You are watching Alive and Well. And my guest is Leamon Jones. He's the Director of Consumer Services for the Michigan Commission for the Blind. And we will be back in just a moment.